Imagine a classroom buzzing with energy, not from chaotic chatter, but from the focused hum of active learning. Students are not passive recipients of information, they are the architects of their own understanding. This is the essence of a thinking classroom, a dynamic learning environment meticulously crafted to foster deep engagement and ignite a passion for learning. Traditional classrooms often prioritize rote memorization and passive learning. Students sit in neat rows, absorbing information transmitted by the teacher. Thinking classrooms, however, turn this model on its head. They are spaces where students are empowered to think critically, collaborate effectively, and solve problems creatively. The thinking classroom is not merely a physical arrangement of desks, it's a pedagogical philosophy. It's about shifting the focus from teaching to learning, from passive absorption to active construction of knowledge. It's about creating an environment where students are not afraid to take risks, make mistakes, and learn from each other. This transformative approach to education is grounded in the research of Dr. Peter Liljedahl, a professor at Simon Fraser University and a global leader in mathematics education. Dr. Liljedahl's work, spanning over 2 decades, has illuminated the power of specific instructional strategies in transforming classrooms into vibrant hubs of thinking and learning. At the heart of a thinking classroom are 14 research-based practices meticulously identified by Dr. Liljedahl. These practices, when implemented in concert, create the optimal conditions for students to thrive as thinkers and learners. One of the most striking elements of a thinking classroom is its physical layout. Gone are the rows of desks facing the teacher. Instead, students are grouped around vertical, non-permanent surfaces like whiteboards or windows. This arrangement, known as visibly random grouping, fosters collaboration and ensures that every student has a voice and a visible space to contribute their ideas. Another cornerstone of thinking classrooms is the use of rich, challenging tasks. These tasks are not simple exercises in applying formulas or recalling facts. They are carefully designed to pique students' curiosity, ignite their imaginations, and compel them to think deeply and creatively. The implementation of these practices is not about rigidly adhering to a checklist. It's about understanding the underlying principles and adapting them to suit the unique needs of your students and your teaching context. The true magic of a thinking classroom lies not in any single practice, but in the synergy created when these practices work together to cultivate a culture of thinking, collaboration, and intellectual curiosity. Let's delve deeper into a few of the 14 practices that underpin the thinking classroom model and explore how they unlock student potential. Imagine walking into a classroom where students are not confined to rows but are instead gathered in groups, their names drawn randomly to determine their teams. This seemingly simple act of visibly random grouping sends a powerful message. Every student has an equal opportunity to contribute and learn from each other. This practice dismantles preconceived notions of ability and encourages students to embrace diverse perspectives. Picture a classroom where walls are transformed into dynamic thinking spaces. Whiteboards, windows, even tabletops covered in writable surfaces become canvases for students to externalize their thinking. This practice allows students to visualize their ideas, make connections, and engage in collaborative problem solving in a fluid and dynamic way. Instead of rote exercises, students are presented with problems that spark their curiosity and challenge them to think critically. These tasks are open-ended, allowing for multiple pathways to a solution and encouraging students to develop their own strategies and justify their reasoning. Mistakes are not feared, but embraced as valuable learning opportunities. When students feel safe to take risks and make errors, they're more likely to engage in deep thinking and push the boundaries of their understanding. These practices, when interwoven into the fabric of the classroom, create a dynamic learning environment where students are actively constructing knowledge, collaborating with peers, and developing their critical thinking skills. The impact of thinking classrooms extends far beyond improved test scores, although research shows significant gains in student achievement. The true power of this approach lies in its ability to cultivate essential 21st century skills. In a world grappling with complex challenges, The ability to think critically, solve problems creatively, and collaborate effectively is paramount. Thinking classrooms equip students with these very skills, empowering them to become not just successful learners, but also engaged citizens and innovative thinkers. Moreover, thinking classrooms foster a love of learning. When students are actively involved in the learning process, when they feel challenged and supported, they develop a sense of ownership over their education. This intrinsic motivation is far more powerful and sustainable than any external reward or pressure. The benefits of thinking classrooms are not limited to students. Educators who embrace this approach often report a renewed sense of purpose and joy in their teaching. They witness firsthand the transformative power of student-centered learning and the exhilaration of seeing their students blossom into confident, capable thinkers. The ripple effect of thinking classrooms is profound and far-reaching, impacting not just individual students and teachers, but also the wider school community and ultimately, society as a whole. The transformative power of thinking classrooms is best illustrated through the voices of educators who have witnessed firsthand the impact on their students. Dan Meyer, a renowned mathematics educator, eloquently captures the essence of thinking classrooms. Math class is often a place where we do a thing called problem solving, which goes like this. I show you a thing and then I ask you to do that same thing again and again. That's not problem solving, that's practice. Real problem solving is about taking the skills you have and applying them to novel situations. Sarah Johnson, a middle school science teacher, shares her experience. Since implementing thinking classroom strategies, I've seen a dramatic shift in my students. They're more engaged, they ask deeper questions, and they're not afraid to grapple with challenging concepts. It's no longer about memorizing facts, it's about truly understanding and applying their knowledge. These testimonials underscore the power of thinking classrooms in igniting student engagement, fostering a love of learning, and equipping students with the skills they need to thrive in the 21st century. The prospect of transforming your classroom into a thinking classroom might seem daunting, but the journey begins with a single step. You don't need to overhaul your entire teaching practice overnight. Start small. Choose one or two practices that resonate with you and experiment with them in your classroom. Observe the impact on your students. Are they more engaged? Are they asking deeper questions? Are they collaborating more effectively? The process of creating a thinking classroom is ongoing and iterative. It's about constantly reflecting on your practice, experimenting with new strategies, and adapting your approach to meet the evolving needs of your students. Remember, the heart of a thinking classroom is not about perfectly implementing a set of practices, but about fostering a culture of thinking, curiosity, and collaboration. Embrace the journey, be open to learning from your students, and witness the transformative power of thinking classrooms unfold in your own educational space.